Support for Living Culture is provided in part by Fitz Seafoods, bringing the Willamette Valley fresh seafood, free-range beef, poultry, and game since 1901. Airlie Winery, producing Willamette Valley Pinot Noir since 1986. Well, spring is on the way, which means it's time to check in with our good friend, Mark Wigg. Mark is an avid gardener who grows hundreds of pounds of fresh produce every year. We want to see how his backyard garden is looking and help him prepare it for the main growing season.
I'm Mark Wigg. I have a yard here in Salem, that's a fairly good sized yard, and I do backyard garden. And it's middle of January. We've had a few days of warm weather and dry weather, and the ground is ready, and I'm already behind schedule. We're going to agri-class. They do recycling of agricultural plastics, things like pots and things like that, greenhouse film, and we're going out there to see if we can find some greenhouse film or greenhouse materials that we can use to make cold frames.
We are here today to see Dawn Price. Dawn shows us around the recycling facility and allows us to take 4 rolls of unused plastic sheeting. This is exactly what we were looking for.
These are going to be cold frames that we're going to put out in the garden outdoors, so then we can grow some vegetables during some of the cold weather, like leading up to spring, and then we'll plant some things and get kind of a head start on the season. Hopefully.
Sweet. We have a lot of plastic film. I'm thinking we'll end up putting it over a wire mesh, and that'll be the basis for the frame, and that'll add a month or 2 months of growing time out there. We can get things at least a month ahead of time, if not 2 months ahead of time.
We've got these onion and leeks and garlic that are already coming up, and Mark has them just kind of growing wild, I guess, but they're all kind of volunteering throughout the garden, and so we're trying to kind of weed in between those because we still want them to grow, and they'll be nice and mature, once we get into spring, June and July even. Because as soon as you see these coming up, that's like an indicator.
Wow, really?
You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying, Mark?
Yeah.
Like as soon as the onions come up,
spring's on the way.
Yeah, the days get longer. Things are going to start moving pretty soon. The garlic, I guess, the elephant garlic, when they're young, you can take the stalk and just chop it up, and then, saute it and cook it like an onion, and that's tasty. And so what we're doing mainly is just we're weeding out the beds, and we're getting rid of some of the dead plant matter and some of the weeds, and then we're going to do some kind of staggered planting where we have some things growing early on, like for spring, and then once those things kind of die down, we'll plant summer things, and then try to make as much use of the space as possible. And we're going to start planting some seeds in the greenhouse to kind of get things going early.
Woo! Yeah.
Greenhouse?
Greenhouse is mostly for starts. It will get a lot warmer, and the soils will get a lot warmer. There's a lot of things like a little warmer soil to germinate. And so with the greenhouse, I can get things into pots, things will germinate, they'll come up, and then I can get them out on into the garden, and they'll be a little advanced, they'll be a little stronger. One of the other things is that with slugs and things like that here in the valley, if you can get a little more of a head start on a plant, there's less chance that the slugs will take out the whole plant before it gets going.
Okay.
Lettuce, we can plant in the greenhouse. So,
Peas, outdoors.
the only thing that we're doing inside is lettuce.
The lettuce.
And we'll get that started.
Okay. So we're gonna plant some things in the greenhouse.
So, and do 2 or 3 little seeds. And
In
these
each?
seeds are really fine.
Okay.
That's the thing about lettuce seeds, they're really small.
1/8 inch.
1/8 inch.
Yeah, those are really small seeds. So we're gonna bury them very shallow.
I'm gonna do red sail all on this side.
Okay.
Put those all on that side.
Do you do 3 in a pot so that you can pick out the very best one when you plant it?
No, we'll just plant the whole pot. I find that they help support each other a little bit. And they don't interfere with each other's growth too badly.
Okay, so the dirt outside has to be 40 degrees.
40 degrees. That's
Okay.
not very warm,
Okay.
but that's 40 degrees to get germination and get things growing.
Okay. And so we have to test that somehow.
Yeah, and it's cold. And if we had a food thermometer or some thermometer that we can stick in the ground, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Well, I have at home. I have like one of those digital instant read thermometers.
Yeah.
We could use that.
Okay.
Okay.
That'd be good.
In the special drawer comes thermometer. Comes off.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's about 38 degrees, about an inch deep.
So.
That's warmer than I thought it would be. It's freezing out
Yeah,
here.
it's seen that it's cold. It's really cold out here. Well, I think the plastic should help. That should help raise that temperature up there.
Yeah.
That should be good.
Okay. And so we want it higher than 45.
A little above 40.
Just above 40, you said. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we can do the peas.
And we'll do peas, and we'll get the lettuce out here, and we'll get the chard out here.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, every year is a little different, and I keep on trying to modify and improve, mostly based on what people like to eat, and also what grows well. That's a nice combination. If it grows well and nobody wants to eat it, that doesn't do you any good. If it doesn't grow well and people like to eat it, well, you're in trouble then you're fighting things all the time. Instead of that, you identify what people like to eat, grow that if it grows well, and that makes gardening a lot easier, and it makes it a lot more successful for us.
As the year progresses, living culture will follow Mark and his garden as it continues to grow. Stay tuned.